Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now I think this is the 6th or the 7th, I think it's actually the 7th in my series of 20 favourite LP tracks or B-sides. Really it's just me going through my favourite artists and picking out my favourite songs that weren't singles in the UK. Now with this artist, which is Paul Simon / Simon and Garfunkel, some of these songs were singles in the US but they weren't in the UK. In fact, there was a bit of a headache finding out what was and what was not a single in the UK, because especially the Simon Garfunkel ones, he tended to have hits from the album, but he released about 3 singles, or they released about 3 singles from each album, and 2 of them just failed to chart. But I found out I had to adjust the list as well, because I had one in there and I found out actually it was a single. So there's 20 of these spanning Paul Simon's career, from Simon Garfunkel days to his solo material. So I want to give a few honourable mentions, and they are Wednesday Morning 3 AM and Bleecker Street from the Wednesday Morning album, A Most Peculiar Man from Sounds of Silence, Punky's Dilemma from Bookends, the whole of the Bridge Over Troubled Water album that wasn't released as singles, Peace Like a River, Papa Hobo from Paul Simon, Was a Sunny Day from There Goes Rhymin' Simon, and Under African Skies from Graceland. Okay, starting off at number 20, and I'm going to give it to, from the Rhythm of the Saints album, She Moves On, which I think is gorgeous. It is very rhythmic, but the chorus is absolutely wonderful with the backing vocals by, I'm not too sure who the female is, but it's absolutely wonderful. And when I bought this album in 1990, I think, or is it 91? It was the first song that stood out for me. I thought it was excellent. So She Moves On. I love the words, my storybook lover, who have underestimated my power, what you surely will discover. Absolutely wonderful. So that gets number 20. At number 19, and I'm giving it to Save the Life of My Child from Bookends, which again is the backing of this. It's actually very haunting. It's not angelic in any way, but it's almost angelic with an injection of evil in it. There's something really disturbing about the backing of this. Of course it's about save the life of my child, so that the child is close to death, so it is quite haunting, but it's an absolutely brilliant way to open the album, even though there is a little Bookends theme at the start, which is fine. But yeah, absolutely love it, and it's one song not really often talked about, so really good song. At number 18, and I'm giving it to the closing track of Paul Simon, and it's Congratulations. And again, this is beautiful. It's full of electric piano, full of different keyboards. I think it's a Hammond organ, but again he sings it beautifully, and it brings the whole tempo down, and it's wonderful. Absolutely brilliant song. So that gets my number 18. At number 17, and from Hearts and Bones in 1983, is the title track, and it's a really good acoustic number. It is actually quite long, but it's one of those good storytelling Paul Simon songs, and for me it is the highlight of this album, so that gets my number 17. At number 16, and it's the closing track from One Trick Pony, and it's Long Long Day, and again a little bit like Congratulations, this really pulls things down, really slows it down. It's as if, you know, you're absolutely exhausted after a hard day's work, you listen to this and it's perfect. And again, the female backing vocals really make this. And I'll say, whenever I first got this, although I was disappointed with the album, this was one of the highlights apart from the single Late in the Evening. So Long Long Day gets my number 16. At number 15, and from Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme, it's the very bouncy Cloudy, which is so catchy, but it's really good. Absolutely love it. And I know the Secrets did a cover version of this as well. Not as good, but still not bad. But yeah, love this song, and the highlight of side 1 for me on this album. At number 14, and this was a single in America, and I think it was quite a big hit, and is Kodachrome, the opener from There Goes Rhymin' Simon. This was actually the B-side of Take Me to the Mardi Gras over here, which was a top 10 hit, so it counts for this list. I love it. It's bouncy, it's cheerful. The only thing I'm not overly keen on is the very first line. When I think back on all the crap I learnt at high school, Paul Simon's a fantastic lyricist. I thought it was just a little bit sloppy. He could have come out with something better, but overall the song is absolutely magnificent, and Simon and Garfunkel do a really good version of this at Central Park. So it gets my number 14. At number 13, and from Still Crazy After All These Years, it's Some Folks' Lives Roll Easy, which I think is an absolutely gorgeous ballad. Absolutely gorgeous. It takes a while to get into this song. When I first heard it, I thought this was not fantastic at all, but it's the one that really did grow on me, and I just think it's a beautiful song. So number 13, Some Folks' Lives Roll Easy. At number 12, I show a CD, and it's from Songs from the Cape Man, and it's Trailways Bus. Now this reminds me so much of the song America. It's one of those type travelling songs, and even mentions magazine in this as well. It is an acoustic number with a little bit of that sort of Graceland picking guitar, although I really should say maybe it's Puerto Rican picking guitar, I'm not sure. But it's the closer of this album, and it's the closest you'll get to a standard 70s Paul Simon song, but it's absolutely magnificent. So Trailways Bus gets my number 12. At number 11, and from Sounds of Silence, it's Leaves That Are Green, which is just, it's extremely catchy. I was 21 years when I wrote this song. I'm 22 now, and I won't be for long, which must be very difficult for him to sing now since he's about 72 or 73. I'm not too sure what age he is, but it is extremely catchy, and I do like the Paul Simon songbook version as well, but this one is better with the backing instrumentation. So absolutely wonderful little song. So Leaves That Are Green is number 11. At number 10, and we go back to Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme for Flowers Never Bend with the Rainfall. Again, I like the Paul Simon songbook version as well, but this one with Art's voice in it is much better. It's just, again, really catchy Simon Garfunkel song. It doesn't really get on any of the greatest hits or anything, and I don't understand why, because it is the highlight from this album. So that gets my number 10. At number 9, and I'm giving it to the Everly Brothers inspired Baby Driver, which is the second song on side 2. It's also the B-side of The Boxer, which is the first song on side 2. I love this. I just love the boom bum ba ba ba, but everything about it. It is very Everly Brothersy, and it's so uplifting. I just think it's a magnificent little number. Again, it doesn't get talked about very much, but brilliant song. So Baby Driver gets my number 9. At number 8, and go back to the CD, and it's the first song on You're the One album, and it's That's Where I Belong. This is just sheer beauty. The music of it, the start of it is haunting. It's almost Irishy in a way as well. And it reminds me of something Mike Oldfield would have done on his Voyager album. It's just beautiful, and his voice is gorgeous. And even when he goes slightly higher with the voice, he does it gently, and there's almost a fragility in it. It's just an absolutely gorgeous song, and by far the best song off this album. This is not actually a bad album, but That's Where I Belong is just magnificent. At number 7, and it's like the lullaby from There Goes Rhymin' Simon, and it's St. Judy's Comet, which was the first song when I heard this album that I fell in love with. I absolutely love it. It's about singing this little child asleep. Really good. Nice little acoustic number with nice backing as well. Like, just a really excellent Paul Simon song. And to me, this is the sort of thing that Art Garfunkel would have sung very well too, but obviously never happened. So number 7, St. Judy's Comet. Number 6, and another ballad, and this time it's from One Trick Pony, and it's How the Heart Approaches What It Yearns. Now this is full of electric piano, which I'm not that keen on, and full of those sort of late 70s type keyboards, which I'm not keen on, but this is great. I make an exception for this song because it's such a beautiful, beautiful song. Yeah, and it's track number 4 off side 1. Absolutely beautiful, and it's from this that In the Blue Light, the album of that he re-recorded, came, because it's the first verse, it's the first verse of this song, In the Blue Light of the Belvedere Motel. Absolutely wonderful. So, How the Heart Approaches What It Yearns gets my number 6. And number 5, and it's actually an Art Garfunkel vocal, and it's April Come She Will. Now, the same thing, this is on the Paul Simon songbook. I do like Paul Simon's version, but Art takes it with his voice to a different level, and it's just an absolutely magnificent song. So, very, very short, about 1.5 minutes long, but every second of it is just beautiful. So that gets my number 5. Number 4, and maybe a bit of a weird choice, but it's from Paul Simon, and it's the very laid back Run That Body Down, the 4th track on side 1. I just think it just goes along at a very gentle, lazy pace, and it's just absolute. I just love it. I love it. I've always loved it. Maybe the lyrics aren't that fantastic, although I think they're pretty damn good. But yeah, Run That Body Down. Again, it never gets talked about very much, and that's my 4th favourite. Number 3, and we have to go back to Sounds of Silence again, and it is Kathy's song. Now, Kathy's song I first heard on the Greatest Hits album, which is what I call their first Greatest Hits album. I call their Cornflakes album. It's the original and it's the best. There's 4 live versions on it. Kathy's song, Homeward Bound, the 59th Street Bridge song, and For Emily, Whenever I May Find Her. Now, on 3 occasions I think the live versions are better, but not Kathy's song. I think this is the best version, followed closely by the Paul Simon songbook version. But yeah, I just think it's a magnificent song about, you know, reflecting England where my heart lies, you know. And this is a guy that's just pure New York. He really is New York. But obviously this Kathy girl really knocked him sideways. So Kathy's song, absolutely gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, I do like the Greatest Hits live version as well. It's the first one I ever heard, but this is my favourite version. So Kathy's song. And number 3, and at number 2 I'm going to give it to Duncan from the Paul Simon album. It's probably one of the best storytelling songs ever. I absolutely love it. The first lines of it, a couple in the next room bound to win a prize. They've been going at it all night long. I just think that's genius lyrics. And ending the song with thanking the Lord for my fingers when he's playing the guitar. It's just a magnificent song, and I love. I'm not too sure what instrument it is. It's a wind type instrument anyway, like a flute type instrument throughout it. Brilliant. And the live version of this on Paul Simon in concert, the live rhyming, is excellent as well with Eurobamba. So that gets my number 2. And my favourite, and some people will probably know what this is, and it's The Only Living Boy in New York from Bridge Over Troubled Water. It is magnificent, and it's not just Paul, it's Paul singing, but it's not just Paul. Art has such an important part in this, with the backing vocals, especially at the end, where his backing vocals are absolutely wonderful. It's a story about really him saying goodbye to art as he flies down to act in, I think it was the Catch-22 film, Tom, Get Your Plane Right on Time, referring to Tom Graff as in Tom Graff and Jerry Landis, Tom and Jerry. But it's a magnificent song, and the vocals for me at the end go on, but they could go on for another minute because I just love them so much. It's such a melodic song. So The Only Living Boy in New York is my favourite. I think it's probably my all-time favourite Paul Simon song, including the singles as well. So brilliant, and that gets my number 1. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. That's my 20 favourite Paul Simon Simon Garfunkel LP tracks. Yeah, I've been a fan since 1981, when I got out the old Greatest Hits album that my mum had, played it, and then started buying. The first one I actually bought was Sounds of Silence, and then Parsley Sage, and then Bookends. And my brother bought Bridge Over Troubled Water, but I managed to snaffle that off him. Anyway, so that's me for now. So all the best now. Bye bye.